Welcome to Manifestation Matters. I mean, have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try to change, your life is just, I don't know, a constant repeat of yesterday?
Oh, absolutely. It's such a universal feeling.
Right. And you think you're making these new conscious choices about your life, but biologically speaking, your body is really just hitting replay on this deeply ingrained chemical addiction to your own past.
Yeah, and it's a staggering reality to confront because we constantly feel this immense frustration, this sense of, well, why can't I just change?
Exactly. We beat ourselves up.
We do. We treat it like a failure of willpower. But what the research we're unpacking today really reveals is that willpower has, honestly, very little to do with it. You are fighting neurobiology.
And that is exactly the mission of our deep dive today. We're taking the rigorous, hard science behind personal transformation, and we're going to discover the exact biological method to reprogram the mind.
Yeah, to manifest what actually seems impossible.
Right, and not through, wishful thinking or some vague philosophy, but through the actual mechanics of neuroplasticity and quantum physics.
Which is where it gets really exciting.
It really does. But to even begin, we have to recognize this biological trap that almost every single one of us falls into the literal second we wake up.
Yeah, the trap is incredibly subtle because it feels so normal. I mean, you open your eyes and your brain starts to boot up. And what's the very first thing that happens?
You check your phone.
Well, yeah, but internally, you start remembering who you are by recalling your problems.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
You think about the emails you have to send, the friction with your coworker, the financial stress. And every single one of those problems is inextricably tied to a specific person, a specific place, and a specific time from your past.
So before your feet even touch the floor, you are already living in yesterday.
Biologically, yes. Your brain is essentially an artifact. It's a physical record of your past. So when you start your day recalling those memories, you are firing the exact same neural networks in the exact same sequences as you did yesterday.
Wow.
And here's where the science gets critical. When those familiar networks fire, your brain signals your body to produce the exact same chemistry. You're locking yourself into a state where your emotional baseline is dictated entirely by events that have already happened.
That's terrifying, honestly.
It is, because the fundamental rule of this entire process is that you cannot bring an old identity into a new future. It's a physical impossibility.
Right. So if we want to understand how to change our future, we first have to look at how our current personality is actively creating our current reality.
Exactly.
The sources describe your personality as a package deal. It's how you think, how you act, and how you feel. It's this unbroken loop.
An endless cycle, yeah.
Yeah, and every thought you have isn't just some abstract philosophical concept floating around in the ether. It is a physical event in the brain that fabricates specific chemicals.
And what's fascinating here is how quickly that chemical fabrication becomes a liability. I mean, if you're having elevated, joyful thoughts, your brain produces chemicals that make you feel good.
Sure.
But if you spend years stressed about your job, anxious about the future, or, harboring resentment, your body literally becomes flooded with stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline.
And the crazy part is we don't just endure those hormones. We become addicted to them, like physically addicted.
Yes, we become chemically dependent on our own stress. It operates just like any substance addiction. Your body adjusts its baseline to expect that specific chemical cocktail.
Even if it's making you miserable.
Even then, because the body prioritizes the familiar over the comfortable.
Okay, I was actually thinking about this dynamic between the conscious mind and the subconscious body, and it reminds me of learning to drive a car or maybe carving a path in fresh, deep snow.
Oh, the snow analogy is great.
Right, like of the first time you walk through deep snow, it's exhausting. It's your 5% conscious mind doing the work. It takes immense effort and focus.
Yeah, every step is hard.
Exactly. But if you walk that same path every single day, the snow gets packed down, it turns into this icy, frictionless chute. Eventually, you can just slide down it without thinking at all.
That icy chute is the 95% subconscious programming.
Yes. It becomes effortless.
That is a perfect way to visualize it. The body learns the emotional reaction so well that it literally becomes the subconscious program. The servant, which is the body, becomes the master.
Okay, let's unpack this. If my conscious mind, which is only 5% of who I am, decides today is the day I'm going to be happy, why does my body suddenly rebel and tell me it's a bad idea? Why is it so hard to just consciously override that system?
Because your body is going into chemical withdrawal.
Wait, really?
Yes. When your 5% conscious mind says, we are going to be happy today, you are stepping off the familiar path. The body suddenly notices a massive drop in those familiar cortisol and adrenaline levels.
It realizes the stress is gone.
Exactly. It notices the chemical cocktail is missing. So it hits the panic button. It sends alarm signals up the central nervous system to the brain, essentially screaming, we are out of our normal anxiety. Something is wrong.
Oh my God. So it translates a physical craving into negative thoughts.
Precisely. The body tricks the mind. You start hearing that inner voice saying, this isn't working. You have too much to worry about to be happy today. Just start tomorrow.
Which feels so real in the moment.
Right, but those aren't objective truths. That is just your biology desperately trying to get you to return to your old chemical baseline.
You know, realizing that your own biology is actively fighting you is terrifying, but honestly, it's also a massive relief.
How so?
Well, it frames the struggle differently. We aren't failing because we're weak. We're fighting a physiological addiction to our old selves.
Yes, exactly.
And to beat that addiction, the sources talk about this concept of crossing the river of change.
Yeah, the river of change. So if we visualize that river, the bank you're currently standing on is your old self. It might be a really painful place to live, but it's familiar. Your body knows how to survive there.
Right.
The far bank is the new future you want to create. But between those two shores is a rushing river, and that water represents the void of the unknown.
And the human brain hates the unknown. I mean, it perceives unpredictability as a literal threat to survival.
It is the most uncomfortable place to be. And this is why most people wade a few steps into the water. They feel the cold rush of uncertainty, lose sight of their familiar shore, and they just panic.
Yeah, the void feels like a void of identity.
Exactly. So they scramble back to their familiar unhappiness because, biologically speaking, a predictable threat feels way safer than total uncertainty.
But the research points out something crucial about that void. It's not just empty, scary space. The void is actually the incubator.
It is. If you can tolerate the discomfort of that space and refuse to retreat, you enter a state where the magic of neuroplasticity actually happens.
Meaning you can physically remodel the brain.
Yes. To connect this to the brain's actual mechanics, you are shifting your brainwaves. On the familiar shore, in a state of stress, you are in high beta brainwaves, hyper-focused on survival, time, and your physical environment.
Constant vigilance.
Right. But in the void, as you let go of the past, your brainwaves slow down into alpha and even theta states. This is the state of creation. Your brain is highly neuroplastic here.
Wow.
Without the old familiar inputs, it starts breaking down the old neural networks and rewiring completely new ones.
Okay, I'm struggling with a bit of a leap here, though.
Okay, what is it?
I mean, my brain can remodel itself in the void. I understand the neuroplasticity part. But how are you realistically supposed to believe in a new reality when your physical senses are screaming at you that nothing has changed?
That's the challenge, yeah.
Like, you step out of this meditative void, you open your eyes, and you're still in the exact same house, with the exact same bank balance and the exact same stressful job. How do you bypass the physical evidence of your life?
That is the ultimate hurdle. And the solution lies in a specific quirk of human neurology. The brain cannot distinguish between a real physical experience and a highly emotionally charged imagined experience.
Wait, so if you visualize something intensely enough, the physical hardware actually upgrades?
Yes, but it's not just casual daydreaming.
Right.
If you close your eyes and mentally rehearse who you are going to be, how you are going to act, and you elevate your emotional state to match that future, your brain starts firing as if the event is happening right now.
That's incredible.
You are physically installing the neurological hardware of your future before the physical event even materializes. You have to stop defining reality purely by what your physical senses detect.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, though. Because once you begin installing this new neurological hardware, you change how you interact with the world around you, specifically the quantum field.
Yes. Now we're getting into the really mind-bending stuff.
Yeah, because the concept here is that all potentials, a prosperous you, a healthy you, a deeply fulfilled you, they already exist in the quantum field right now, just vibrating at a different frequency.
And to understand this, we have to look at how the sources bridge biology and physics, because it's not magic, it's electromagnetism.
Okay, walk me through that.
Every time a neuron fires in your brain, it generates a tiny electrical field. When millions of them fire together, they create a measurable electrical signature. That is the brain's output.
Yeah.
But the heart also generates a massive field, a magnetic field, based entirely on the emotions you are feeling.
So your thoughts act as the electrical charge, sending the signal out into the field, and your feelings act as the magnetic charge, pulling the experience back to you.
Exactly. When you combine a clear intention in the brain with an elevated emotion in the heart, you are broadcasting a coherent electromagnetic signature into the field.
Which reveals exactly why so many of us get stuck. We think about what we want. We send out this electrical signal for wealth or a new career. But our magnetic charge, our actual emotion, is rooted in the fear or desperation of not having it yet.
Right, you're sending mixed signals.
We're broadcasting a completely scrambled signal.
And the quantum field cannot respond to mixed signals. This brings us to the ultimate paradox of this entire framework. The field doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to who you are being.
So if you want something but feel lack,
You attract more lack. If you send out a thought of abundance but you feel a magnetic charge of scarcity, the field matches the scarcity.
so how do we fix the signal? I mean, if I don't have the new career or the wealth yet, how do I authentically feel the emotion of having it without just lying to myself?
The research points to one specific emotion as the skeleton key here, and that is gratitude.
Gratitude.
Yes. Because if we think about the biological function of gratitude, it is the ultimate state of receivership. In normal life, when do you actually feel gratitude?
Usually after I get something, like after I receive a gift.
Exactly. You feel it after a gift or after something wonderful happens. Your body associates the emotion of gratitude with an event that has already been completed.
Oh, I see. You are reverse engineering the feeling.
Yes. By cultivating immense gratitude before the manifestation occurs, you are biologically tricking your body into believing the future event has already happened in the present moment.
That is wild.
Your body, which is acting as the unconscious mind, says, wow, we are feeling profound gratitude right now, so the event must have already occurred. Your electrical intention and your magnetic emotion align perfectly.
You achieve coherence.
When you become a magnet for synchronicities and unexpected opportunities that match that exact frequency.
That is profound. But let's bring this down to earth for a second, because understanding the quantum field and neuroplasticity is great theory. But so, what does this all mean for us tomorrow morning? How do we actually apply this hardware installation on a daily basis?
Well, the sources don't just leave us with theory. They provide a highly practical, actionable 4-step method for reprogramming your mind every day.
Perfect. Let's get into the value here.
But I'll warn you, it requires immense mental discipline because you are fighting against the current of your own biology.
Right. So step 1 is conscious observation.
Yes, metacognition, thinking about your own thoughts.
Going back to our snow metaphor, this is the moment you catch yourself sliding down the icy chute of your old habits. During the day, you have to become a ruthless observer of your own mind.
You really do.
Like when you catch yourself judging a coworker or complaining about the weather or just feeling self-pity, you literally have to say the word stop in your mind to interrupt that old neural firing.
And by doing that, you're actively stopping the momentum. Remember, the rule neurons that fire together wire together. If you actively stop them from firing, they begin to unwire.
You are denying that old pathway the energy it needs to survive.
Exactly. You are starving the old self.
Which clears the ground for step 2, morning mental rehearsal. And timing is everything here, right? We talked about how the trap springs the moment you wake up.
Right before your feet hit the floor.
Yeah. So before you even open your eyes, while your brain waves are still in that slow neuroplastic theta or alpha state, you have to decide who you will be that day.
You have to mentally rehearse it. Let's look at a common trigger. Say you have a status meeting every Tuesday that always makes you super defensive and stressed out.
Oh, we've all been there.
Right. So instead of letting your body blindly walk into that trap, you lie in bed, close your eyes, and visualize that exact traffic camera, that stressful meeting. You see the person who usually triggers you.
But you change your reaction.
Yes. In your mental rehearsal, you practice a calm, elevated, peaceful response. You feel the peace.
You are paving the new path in the snow before you even get to the meeting. So when you actually sit down at the conference table later, your brain doesn't have to guess how to act.
Nope. It already has the hardware installed for a calm response. You've already lived it.
That's brilliant. And that flows directly into step 3, which I think is often the most difficult for people, emotional elevation.
It's definitely the hardest step.
Because you can't wait for your outer environment to change before you change your internal state. You have to intentionally cultivate elevated emotions like joy or love, completely independently of your circumstances.
Yeah, you have to generate it yourself.
Okay, but this is where I usually hit a wall, and I know I'm not alone here.
Right.
Let's say my bank account is severely overdrawn, or I don't know, I'm dealing with a chronic health issue.
Right.
Trying to just conjure up feelings of overwhelming joy or abundance feels like complete delusion. My physical reality is shouting at me. How do you elevate your emotion when your environment is actively hostile?
It's a very real struggle. But you have to realize that you aren't ignoring the bank account or the health issue. You aren't pretending they don't exist.
Okay.
What you are refusing to do is let those external circumstances dictate your internal chemistry. You use tools to generate the emotion independently.
Like what kind of tools?
The sources highly recommend using music that deeply moves you. Or, immersing yourself in a profoundly beautiful memory. Or simply focusing on the feeling of breathing and being alive.
Finding anything to raise that energy.
Exactly. The goal isn't to pretend the problems don't exist. The goal is to practice feeling the emotion of your future in spite of the present environment. You have to elevate your energy above your environment.
Wow. You were training your body to be the thermostat, not the thermometer. You were setting the emotional temperature of the room, rather than just reacting to how cold it is outside.
That's a vital distinction. You are asserting dominion over your biology. And then, to ensure you are actually making progress, you implement step 4, the nightly review.
And this happens right before you go to sleep, as your brain waves are slowing back down into those alpha and theta states again. You mentally review your day, but the absolute key here is doing it without any judgment. You do not beat yourself up.
No, because judgment just creates more stress hormones, which completely defeats the purpose.
Right.
You simply act as an objective observer. You look at where you succeeded, and you look at where you fell back into the old icy chute.
Like, where did I let an email steal my peace? Where did I complain?
Exactly. You observe the misstep, and then you just plan how you will handle it differently tomorrow. This creates a constant, objective feedback loop.
So when we step back and look at this entire 4-step process, observing, rehearsing, elevating, and reviewing, what we're really doing is a biological remodeling project.
It is the meticulous pruning of old synaptic connections. You're literally letting the networks of your past wither away from lack of use, and you consciously cultivate entirely new ones. You are changing your inner world.
And the fundamental premise of bridging this biology with the quantum field is that when you change your inner electromagnetic signature so completely, the outer world has no choice but to reflect it.
Precisely.
So change is really a process of unlearning and relearning, one thought and decision at a time. You transition from being a victim of circumstance, just constantly reacting to a world that happens to you, to becoming the active architect of your reality.
But it demands a massive trade-off. It demands that you let go of the familiar comfort of your past to embrace the absolute uncertainty of the future. You have to trust the river of change.
And that raises a deeply philosophical question about human identity.
It really does. If our personality is just a package of habits and chemical dependencies, and we can completely rewrite them.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because that is the exact provocative thought I want to leave our listeners with today. The text we've explored suggests that if you do this work consistently, if you prune away those old synaptic connections, one day you will wake up and the person you used to be will literally no longer exist in your biology.
The neural pathways of your old self will just be gone.
Right. So if neuroplasticity allows us to completely dismantle our past and build an entirely new personality from scratch, does our authentic self even exist? Or are we just ever-changing biological software programs?
It's a huge question.
Because if we are just software, that means there is no fixed, immovable you that you are stuck being. The ultimate freedom is realizing that you are simply whoever you decide to program yourself to be today.
I couldn't agree more.
So tomorrow morning, when you wake up, before the memories of yesterday come rushing in, who are you going to choose to be? Will you step into the river of change, or will you let your life be a constant repeat of yesterday?
It's entirely up to you.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. And please leave a comment below and let us know who you're deciding to be tomorrow. We'll catch you next time.